Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Lawnboy Bros 1975. A using girls on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Lawnboy Bros 1975.
Hey YouTube, Lawnboy's Post 975, Paddy, ickle sister Paddy. This is kind of a response to you, but based on a few conversations I had at work tonight, I'm probably gonna derail your questions, but you know, you basically asked if we had a time machine, you know, what are the 3 points in life you would love to go to? Immediately I would like to say that I would love to see Star Wars on opening night. I would like to see the moon landing, and basically a repeat view of Back to the Future in the cinema, because it's the greatest movie ever made. It is, people, you're just deluding yourselves. It got me, you know, thinking a little bit more, and it's, you know, I love modern life, I really, really do. You know, I love microwaves, I love the fact that my car is fuel injected, you know, I love satellite TV, I love broadband, I love everything that I get with it. But sometimes, and yes, I'm gonna sound like an old fart when I say this, and people of my generation, I'm 38, 39 next month, oh fuck, may get this, I'm pretty sure no one else will, which is, I want to say, sometimes less is more. And it's not about me reminiscing about the good old days, you know, but I don't know, I just think sometimes having everything you can have utterly served up to you on a plate kind of makes, I don't know, it detracts from the enjoyment of life. It's good to have to, I don't want to say suffer, but to have to, you know, fight against something, or, well, not fight against something, but deal with the system, which is, you know, way back in the day, the shops were only open, you know, a certain number of days, a certain number of hours, you know, TV was only on a certain number of days. And yes, I'm being warm, reminiscent, and, you know, fondly remembering, I should say, my childhood days, but I don't know, I think we have too much now, I really do. I think it's an overload. You've only got to look at the people who, you know, queue outside of Apple to buy the latest iPhone, and it's like, no offense if you do this, but I'm going to stand by this statement, which is, you bought the last 4. How different is it? Why are you camping outside, you know, Apple's headquarters? You know, you're the perfect victims to their marketing, you know, ploy, which I guess I don't have a right to, you know, judge against, because I love video game consoles, and let's be honest, Nintendo are probably slightly after Apple when it comes to not treating their fan base with the respect when it comes to how quickly they recycle their consoles. But I don't know, see, maybe it's me rapidly approaching 40, so I look at things in a different way, but, you know, and I've talked to my parents about this, and it's just, and I had a wonderful upbringing, and a wonderful thing, you know, and, you know, when we were back in those days, we were slightly, this sounds horrible, ahead of everyone else, because my dad was, you know, an engineer, a mechanic, you know, so it afforded us a luxury that other people didn't get. But I don't know, I just, some of my fondest memories of, you know, back then was going to Blue Anchor, which is, you know, just, you know, outside of Minehead, and going to a stationary caravan, a big caravan, not a small caravan, and you had running cold water. No, initially, very, very fuzzy, obviously I was born in 1975, I remember a few years of my parents walking to a standpipe and pumping water into a big, you know, like container to bring back to the caravan. We had no toilet, your fridge ran on gas, all your lights ran on gas, and your heater ran on gas. So you were covered by the basic sort of comforts. But your TV was black and white, and it ran on a car battery that you literally dropped the cable out the window, you know, into a car battery. But my old man was, you know, like, oh, God bless you, George, was smarter than most other people. And he worked out a way to have 2 car batteries and a ingenious lead, so we could have a colour telly, you know, running off a car battery, and you would run it off one car battery, then you would swap it and charge that, and then you run it off the other one the night after, you know, after you charged it, in a full day of, you know, doing tourist shit. But I just remember those are some of my fondest memories, and some of my fondest memories are basically, we had nothing. We had absolutely nothing. We didn't have a toilet in the caravan. This is absolutely unheard of now, and I'm showing my age, but basically, you needed a piss or a shit in the middle of the night, you had to open the door and you had to sprint, you know, 250 yards to the shower block, which was nasty. And then you would do your business there and you would come back, and you wouldn't get that now, you know. Can you imagine parents now? You know, you're sleeping in a caravan if it didn't have these amenities, and then it would be like, sorry mum, dad, gotta go for a piss. You're 5, and then you would leg it up. And it wasn't your parents being, you know, neglectful about you as a child, but it was simpler times back then. None of this shit that happens now happened then. I'm sure it did, but we just didn't know. And it was, do you know what? I just like these memories. Yet, yes, I'm being warm, fuzzy, and you know, reminiscing. But it was just great times. You know, what a wonderful reward it was. You know, you went to the beach. Going to the beach for a day. Can you imagine telling this to someone who's grown up on Xbox now, who was my age back then? Like, hey, you know, get off fucking Call of Duty. We're going for the beach today. You're going to paddle. You're going to swim. You're going to build sandcastles. Then you're going to come back. And I'm going to buy you an ice cream with a flake in it. And you're going to love it. And we did. And it was just, I don't know. I think society and modern life has got so kind of up its own ass and bitter. It's just, I really do wish for simpler days. I think my answer to your question, Paddy, would be this. Forget everything I said right at the start of this video. If I could go back in time, but can I add a stipulation, which is enjoy it as an adult, I'd go back to the 70s, you know. Alright, not so much when Labour fucked up the country, you know, like, you know, all that stuff, like your bins and your rubbish wasn't being taken away. We had a 3-day week because we couldn't, you know, run the power, you know, companies and stuff like that. But I'd go back to the 70s in the sense, which is, I don't know, I like the fact, which is, TV got turned off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You didn't care. You dealt with it. You played a board game. You did something. You interacted with another individual. You read a bloody book. You know, you got on your bike. This doesn't happen now. People say like, oh, the modern day is so obese. Oh, look at them. Well, have you seen the shit you can buy in a supermarket? That's why they're obese. But no, get on your bike. Have some fun. Do what I did when I was a kid. You know, ride fucking 15 miles down the road just to visit your best mate from school. I just think, I don't know, this has really got away from me. But Paddy, my answer to your question is this. Forget time machine. If I could go back to, and I was 5 in 1980, I was born in 1975, but if I could go back to the 70s and live like then, now, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I think it was a far more healthy, you know, lifestyle choice. I think, as I said, less is more. It was far more rewarding. You know, you look for things to do. You just basically, you didn't rely on this influx of technology and someone else to wipe your ass. Anyway, people, what do you think? If you could, to answer Paddy's question, I'll put a link in the doohickey down below. If you could pick 3 points in your life, 100 years or so behind, you can't go outside of that equation. It's not, well, no, it is quantum leap. You can't go outside of that equation. What would you do? Mine, to me, would quite frankly be, I would love to experience the 70s as a child again. I just, or even, you know, actually, not maybe, definitely as an adult. I just think, yeah, I could deal with that. I could deal with no microwave. I could deal with no chest freezer. I could deal with living with a fridge. I can deal with living, shopping day to day. I just think, I don't know, you know, cars that didn't have synchromesh, cars that didn't have, you know, power steering, cars that didn't have fucking decent brakes. I could live with that because it was basically, you didn't care, you didn't complain, you didn't moan. We all piss, moan and complain about everything these days. We never did back then, even though I was 5. You know what I mean. But yeah, Paddy, that's my answer to you, ickle sis, and everyone else. If you could go back to, you know, 3 points in time before your life, you know, before your life span, but not outside of it, you know, say, or such 100 years, what would you do? I would kill to go back to the 70s. I think it was a wonderful period. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.